Have you ever wanted to begin investing but not sure how? You've heard the word index fund, Roth IRA, Vanguard, etc., but just can't put it all together? Don't worry, I gotcha. Today I'm going to walk you through the basics of the basics and also show you exactly how to open your investment account. So let's get it. Hey guys, my name is Brendan, aka Budget Dog. On my channel we discuss personal finance, financial freedom, and entrepreneurship. If you want to see more of my content and help out my channel, make sure you go subscribe to my channel below by hitting the subscribe button. It means a lot to me and helps out my family. Also, check out my links below for some free resources that you can use today. So before we walk through exactly how to open an account, let me explain the 4 layers of index fund investing in a nutshell to make this really, really simple. So at the top, we have brokerage. This is Vanguard, Fidelity, maybe M1 Finance, maybe Charles Schwab, maybe Robinhood. It's the broker that you're actually holding your investments with, and it should be as simple as that. But a lot of people get hung up on the second part, which is account. So when I say I opened an IRA, I opened a 401k, or I have a brokerage account, that's the investment and people stop right there. But that's not. We have to go more in depth. So at first, we always want to select Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, etc. Then we select the type of account from a tax standpoint that we want to invest in. But then within, we select investments, such as the S&P 500 if we're doing index funds, or the Dow Jones, etc., maybe a VGT with a sector-based fund. But then even below that, we're actually buying an accumulation of assets. So it's not just one asset. An index fund at its core is a group of assets. And in this situation, we might have P&G, McDonald's, some names that you've seen here, Facebook, Microsoft, etc., Apple. And from there, we have our investments. So when you go to open an account, make sure that you're always opening one, but also selecting the investments within. So now with the next piece of this video, I'm going to show you how to do that on a practical level. All right, so let's actually walk through the process of opening an account. We talk about this theoretically a lot of times. I'm going to walk you through the steps of opening accounts. We are going to use 3 big brokers and walk through each step. We're going to use Vanguard, Charles Schwab, and Fidelity. So let's get started. So let's start with Vanguard and go to vanguard.com. If you just enter into the browser, and we are going to go to Vanguard's website. Okay, so we are going to hit personal investors down here. And this is just opening an account. Remember to the picture, we've selected the broker, we've selected the account, and then we will select the investment within. There's 3 steps or 4 steps to this process. So we're going to go what we offer, and we are going to go to accounts and plans. And we're going to click on IRAs, but all of the accounts listed here, I talk about them in my book, are listed here under accounts and plans. We're going to click IRAs, and we're going to walk through the steps. Now, that's as simple as it is. Now, these steps are fairly straightforward. It's entering personal information, where the money's coming from, etc. So we're going to hit bank transfer here. I know I'm new here. We're going to set up an account, hit continue, and we're going to click here. Now, depending on the account you want to open, let's say an IRA, we're going to hit individual broker, individual retirement investing, and we're going to go down here, and there's a new box. It says traditional or Roth. This is just the tax designation you are signing the account. So you can select either one. And depending on what you prefer, paying tax now with a Roth and getting the benefit later, or vice versa with traditional, is what you select. If you have questions on that, I have a lot of content around there, or speak with the CPA. But everyone's situation is different. Let's just click Roth and we would walk through the process. It's as simple as that. Now, when you open the account, it has to be another step. You have to select the investment. So if you go back up to vanguard.com and we'll walk to the very homepage again, you'll have your account open to where you'll be selecting, but you'll go to what we offer and you'll go to, let's say, mutual funds. So we talk about index funds a lot, and we're just going to explore them, right? And so if you open these, as you can see, the very first one is VFIX, a big one, the S&P 500 funds. And you can sort through all these. I talk in my book about how you can break this down to make it a lot simpler, because there's maybe hundreds of index funds in front of you, and you want to make it as simple as possible. So this right here is a long list, and my book will cover a little bit more. So I'm not going to do that, but you can definitely sort and by performance, by expense ratio, by asset class, risk level, all of those kind of things. Now within there, each one, once you narrow it down to a few, you can even do some filtering over here. Click on the actual investment product. This is where you do the assessment of, does this fit my needs for my portfolio, my goals, my age, my risk profile, all those kind of factors we talk about. You can open this, and here's the fun fact sheet. It will tell you everything from overview, price and performance, portfolio management, any fees associated with it, dividend distributions or any other distributions, and some news. Typically, this doesn't have much. And then you can make your assessment on that based on each of the funds. And obviously we talk about way more in the book, but you can also click prospectus, which is a way more heady document, essentially, the book version. And while this is kind of the Spark Notes version, I kind of stick to this for the most part. But if you want to open the prospectus, you can click here. And that's as simple as it is, guys. And then from your investment account, you will select some of these funds based on your preference, and you will set automation up to where you never have to do this again. Every single 2 weeks, every month, it will automatically deduct from your bank account into this account, into this investment that you select. And you can do various investments. You can do 60% goes to this fund, 30% goes to this fund, and 10% goes to another fund. Invite so many different ways. But it just makes it really easy at the end of the day. Now, let's go to Fidelity. Fidelity.com, very similar. So Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Vanguard are my favorite. Their customer service is great. Investment products are great, low fees, etc. But when you're working with each one of these, you do not want to go with VT Sachs, which I talk about a lot because I'm with Vanguard, if you're with Fidelity and vice versa. You can definitely find the equivalents across the platforms by Googling, and I'll show you that in a second. But let's go to Fidelity. And now we're going to go to investment products. Let's say we're opening an IRA, boom, it's right here. And we'll walk through that process of opening it. Traditional, again, Roth or rollover. Side note, if you do want a rollover IRA because you have an old 401k, I have a free service that will do that process for you. You do not have to worry about the paperwork. In my link in my bio, or in the link below, and my link in my bios across all socials. But that's also an option if you guys are doing the rollovers. But for Roth, you would open this and you would enter your personal information in. Boom, the account's open. Now you have to select your investments. So back up here to investment products. Let's say we are going to select mutual funds. So index funds like normal. Exploring here, boom. And here is a list of all the index funds with Fidelity. Now, once you select these, just like Vanguard, then you can select the allocations each and every paycheck or each and every time you contribute. Let's say you put $1,000 in every month. You can say 70% of that or $700 goes here, 30% goes here, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'm going to show you a quick tip on if you want to find Vanguard to Fidelity equivalent funds. Just Google this and you want to scroll down to this one right here. And this will actually show you some equivalents. So if you're like, well, I know you talk about VT Sachs a lot, but I'm with Fidelity, so I know it when it makes sense because they'll charge me extra fees. Here you go. Here's a little cheat sheet you can use. So VT Sachs would be FSKAX. Now, a note to that as well, right above here, Fidelity came out with some new zero expense index funds. Definitely look into these right here. These are phenomenal. And so if I was with VT Sachs and I was with Fidelity, I would probably pick the FZ Rocks. It's a newer upgraded fund to this FSKAX down here. Same thing with VTIAX. If you find VTIAX down here, right here, you're going to see FTIHX. If you go up here, here's the international. Where is it at? Where's FZILX right here, the international. It's just the cheaper version in the newer version. Part of their marketing program and everything like that. So that's as easy as it is to walk through Fidelity. So let's walk through Charles Schwab. So if we go to Charles Schwab and we open this, same process with just the other two, nothing different, but we're going to go to accounts and products and we're going to open retirement and IRAs here. And down here, just like Fidelity, traditional, Roth, or rollover, we'll open those. Very simple personal information. We're not going to walk through that. And boom, it's open. Then you have to go back and select the investments, of course, once that's account's open. And so in account and products, and then let's go to mutual funds right here. Okay, and then we're going to go down here and check out the index funds. So let's do find mutual funds. And we're going to go down here and they're going to have index funds, actively managed funds, bond funds, et cetera. Let's just hit the index funds just like the other two. And we're going to click this link and we're going to have a list of all of Schwab's index funds. And there's filtering here you can do, but quickly noted is right here. The first one is SWPPX. This is the S&P 500 fund that's similar to Fidelity's fund as well as Vanguard's fund. So VFIAX is equivalent to this. And then right below that, they have the SWTSX, which is the total market fund. So if I'm with VTSAX with Vanguard and you have Schwab, this is the most equivalent fund to that. And that will help you out. And it's only 2 and 3 basis points right here. So that's really, really good, which is a big reason we stick with the index funds. So that's all it is, guys. It's that simple. It's Very, very self-explanatory once you just click a few buttons, but to get you there is always step one. Now, opening it and having asset allocation, that's a whole nother story, but this is videos intended for you to open your account. And then my book is going to have all of the additional research that is going to help you make a good decision, a good sound decision for your investments long-term as well. All right, let's get back to the video. I hope that made investing super easy for you. Remember to always go back to the picture, the layers of index investing when thinking through all of the investing jargon thrown your way. If you need further help, check out my Investing 101 ebook in the caption below. This book will not only help you get started, but bring the entire stock market together for you in a short, easy to understand reading. And as a reminder, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go click the subscribe button below. Lastly, I would love to hear your thoughts below on the video, and I will see you in the next video.